Welcome to the TK Show with the Athletic Bay Area's Editor-in-Chief, Tim Kawakami.
Hey everybody, Tim Kawakami here at TK Show. We are recording from the new athletic offices here. Very exciting. I'd never been in them before. Took a little bit of work to get to them with a little traffic in downtown San Francisco. But great to be here and great to have on as my guest a friend of mine, someone from institution in the Bay Area, institution in baseball. Great to have on as the Giants are in spring training right now. TV analyst. And just a personality like no other in baseball and certainly with the Giants. Mike Krukow. Mike, great to have you on. How you doing today?
TK, thanks for having me. Things are doing great. By the way, welcome to the city of San Francisco, your new offices. I'm pretty pumped up. You're going to be very close to the ballpark.
Yes, very close, actually. Walking distance to maybe a little bit more than walking distance, but it's pretty cool. The Embarcadero is just right there. There are a lot of people walking around on the streets. It makes it a little hard to make right-hand turns, but that's life in the big city. Hey, I know you've been down to spring training at least once or twice. Certainly, I hear back. There's some good vibes down there, obviously coming off the 98 losses last season. Just what have your general take with kind of some new faces, but a lot of the main guys, certainly Bochy and Sabian and Posey. What's your sense of where the club is mentally right now?
Well, I'm starting to feel it, and I haven't said that for a while. I went down there, and I think before I saw anybody, I had a concern about this club. I obviously felt that they were better equipped to deal with the National League West and the left-handed pitching presence in the National League West with the addition of Longoria, McCutchen, and Jackson. I thought, now they're loaded for bear. Bring on Kershaw and Hill and Wood and Robbie Ray and Patrick Corbin. Bring them on. But I know there was a concern that I had, and that was in regards to the bullpen, and that was the health of Mark Melancon.
Yep.
And that kind of has been a storyline on this camp. And bear with me here as I round about how I get to this point. But this camp came in, a lot of veteran presence, a lot of anticipation from the guys in the clubhouse. Some guys last year with credibility had some down years. Everybody kind of wanted to resurrect themselves. It's really got the feel in the Giants clubhouse right now of an all-star team. And so it was just a matter of when they were going to hit the comfort zone. Well, just to give you how sensitive a clubhouse is, spring training, they had a lot of energy going on, a lot of big-time optimism, a lot of energy. And long about Mark Melancon's first outing, when he went a 1-2-3 perfect inning after the game, they asked him how he felt. He said, well, not really that great, really. He was kind of, he didn't commit like you were expecting him to say, hey, I'm good to go. He wasn't that way. And it kind of took the wind out of the sails of the whole room. And I watched it very closely because they had all this energy, and all of a sudden they had this little punch in the stomach. How are they going to recover? Some teams don't. Some teams get a punch in the stomach in spring training, and they're gone. The search and the quest for chemistry is out the door. But they overcame it. They completely swallowed it up and just said, not a problem, and they moved on. Now, the next time I saw Melancon was this last weekend, and he threw an inning. The first guy up, he gives up a 2-2 slider that hangs. Guy hits out of the ballpark, and then he goes ground ball, strikeout, ground ball. And he pitched fantastic. So the bottom line is, from what I saw, it didn't look like there was anything that he was holding back. I thought all of the stuff was good. And but the point I'm getting to is that, to me, was a real issue coming into this spring. They had to have Melancon. And now, I'm thinking, well, it'd be nice if they had him, but they don't need him to be successful. And that's a huge step for me. What I've seen in the development of Hunter Strickland with he's tightened up his slider thanks to an off-season workshop with John Smoltz, probably the greatest right-handed slider guy I ever saw. And Josh Osich is looking to me like he's ready to go to the next level. So a roundabout way of me saying I like this camp. I'm starting to get really excited about it. I'm starting to feel it. And the one thing that I was most fearful of, I'm no longer fearful of it, and that is Melancon. I think he's going to be a contributor. I think he's going to have a good year. But if he was if he doesn't, I don't think it's going to slow him down.
Who do you think is their alternate closer? Is it Strickland? Is it Dyson? Or just as good to have options, I guess?
Well, I think that you could actually do it by committee now. I think with Tony Watson, I think that he's more than capable. He's proven it. He's had 1 year, 15 saves with the Pirates, and with Dyson and Strickland, I think those guys can hold the fort until they get Will Smith, who's due back right around the first or the middle of May. So, and I think that they can do that. I just feel so much better about what I saw down there from the guys throwing, from the young arms that are going to have to make a contribution at some point this year when guys go on the DL. I just feel that they've got more depth, and like last year, a lot of these kids out of the minor leagues, I didn't think they were ready to make a contribution. But another year of working out, another year of development, and it looks to me like you got 5 or 6 guys down there who are ready to go.
Is it weird to go down to a Giants camp and not see Dave Righetti there and not have Rags just to talk to?
It is. It is. I thought Dave Righetti and Mark Gardner were as good a 1-2 punch as there was in all of baseball in regards to pitching coaches. They were fantastic, and that's all most of these guys in the Giants clubhouse have ever known. And I think the idea in the offseason was to bring in some more voices, and it also rattles the cage. Mm-hmm. Look, you had a team lose 98 games last year, and for the most part, after the 3 World Championships, it was a country club in that clubhouse. They had a lot of perks. Well, guess what? I mean, they kind of got back into Spartan training, and one of the things that they did was they kind of rocked everybody's world by bringing in some new voices, not just Righetti and Gardner, but Bam Bam Eulens, Steve Decker, they're gone. They brought in Rick Shue and Alonzo Powell, and no longer will you see Ron Wotus on the bench with Hensley Mullins taking the bench coach job. Ron Wotus is out in third base coaching box. So that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does mess with the routine, the everyday routine of a clubhouse, especially when most of the guys in that clubhouse have known only one way, one structure. So it has been very interesting as to how it has all unfolded this year, but it's been a very positive one. They're having a good camp. I
know a lot of these coaches, maybe they're not strictly analytics guys, but they have analytics understanding, and they certainly mean the Giants franchise means to take a broader emphasis of it. Well, what's your take on the launch angle talk, spin rate, BOBIP? Do you think this is something that the Giants have lagged behind? Do you think this is something they needed to inject themselves a little bit with?
They've had so much success one way that it was hard to say, well, they need to bring this other available information into their analysis. But I do think it's important. I think it's important for a lot of ways. In regards to launch angle, we saw what it did with Daniel Murphy, and he started talking about launch angle and whatnot. But you look back at his early swing when he was with the Mets, he had a flat swing. And you could say the same thing for Mac Williamson. He had a flat swing and hit a lot of balls on the ground. I mean, that's the way that they were taught. Now, all of a sudden, Daniel Murphy, he gets a little bit of an uppercut, and all of a sudden, balls they're fly balls now. They're going out of the ballpark. And he's a much different type of hitter. Well, what we're seeing with Mac Williamson this year, the results have been dramatic for him changing his launch angle. So launch angle is a reality. It's just a style of hitting that was taught. It's not anything new to baseball. I mean, launch angle was around in the 30s and 40s. But as baseball kind of got away from the pull hitter, it kind of set up and structured the mindset of hitters to use the middle of the field and have a flat swing, keep your bat in the strike zone a long time, use the middle of the field. Well, I mean, guys are getting away from that now. I mean, I truly believe with launch angle, you're going to see guys who are dead pull hitters come back into the game. So I think it's kind of evolving back. And I also like the statistics in that it can give you a red flag as to a guy's health. Because for the most part, you ask anybody in a big league clubhouse that wears a toe plate and is a pitcher, how are you feeling? They're going to tell you, I feel great. Not a problem. Let's go. Especially guys in the bullpen. You can't believe a damn word they say. But now all of a sudden, if you have some statistics that back up saying, look, your velocity is this, your spin rate on your breaking ball is this. I mean, that to me gives an early red flag that guys are fatigued or perhaps they're throwing around an injury. And I think that information is critical. Look, you can get paralysis with analysis analysis that have too much information. But for the most part, I think that the way that the information is gathered, the way that it is processed, and the way that it is digested by coaching staffs and players is pretty healthy. And I don't see it ever changing. And I'm happy that the Giants have gone into this field and are pursuing it full-heartedly.
We're going to take a quick break for a word from our friends at Hims, a new wellness brand for men. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? I know some of you Warriors fans have used that line when talking about a certain Eastern Conference rival, but it's not funny when it starts happening to you. 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it? Luckily, we've got a solution for you. forhims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss and more for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. No weird snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. These prescription solutions are backed by science. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Answer a few quick questions, a doctor will review and prescribe you products, and they are shipped directly to your door. Now is your chance to order. TK's listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds of dollars if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. So go to forhims.com/TK. That's forhims.com/TK. forhims.com/TK. Now, back to the TK show.
You've been in that clubhouse. I'm just curious, the personalities of Longoria and McCutchen, there's two such established players, faces of the franchise where they were. Giants picked them up. How have you seen them kind of be incorporated in that clubhouse? Are they immediately leaders, or they're going to hang it back a little bit and maybe, let everyone kind of get adapted to their presence?
Well, they have immediate presence, and that's because of their careers to this point. I mean, they come walking in that clubhouse, and they have reputation. But it was a different clubhouse. These guys, McCutchen, Jackson, Longoria, they're all walking into the Giants clubhouse with a lot of respect for the existing backbone of this club. And they're also looking at as to how things work in this clubhouse. It's obviously been an effective clubhouse. They are newcomers, so they have to find a comfort zone and learn how things are done in the Giants clubhouse. I think one of the keys in this clubhouse has been Pablo Sandoval. I think he's a guy that has been kind of a connector. He's a kind of a guy that, he literally will touch everybody in that room every day, whether it would be by way of a handshake or some kind of a voodoo, like a little hand movement thing that they do. I mean, it's pretty funny, but it's important when you have a lot of new guys in a clubhouse. Nobody really is in the comfort zone. Not the new guys, not even the guys that are there, especially guys with reputation. And I think Sandoval's been fantastic for bringing a lot of comfort and a lot of relaxation in that clubhouse. It's a good, healthy clubhouse right now. It's fun to be in.
Do you think Pablo is different this time around? I mean, I know it's a different point in his career, but just as a personality, or is he very similar?
Oh, 100% different. He had a massive dose of humility and a major culture shock going into the American League and going to Boston. He's back here now. He's a father of three. He's a different man. He's a man. He's no longer a 12-year-old kid. He has grown up in so many ways, and he's also healthy. You go take a look at his swing, and I'm talking about even from the right side. It's lethal. He's got back strength in that bat head again, and he is not looking. He just wants to help. He's not pouting because he's not playing every day, or he's not. He came here to make a team, and he was serious about it. And he looks good, and I think he's going to be a guy that has a great year for this club this year. You know what I think? I think he's going to wind up having 400 at-bats.
Wow. At first, at third, just throw him around. Where else could he play another position? Outfield? Maybe not.
Hey, he's the backup catcher.
Backup catcher.
Not pretty much in the infield. He is the third guy that puts on the shin pads. But, you might see him DH because of what I think. I mean, he's going to have a potent year with the bat. He's swinging it good right now.
we see that Houston, basically tanked to get draft picks, and then we see where they are now. We've seen Chicago kind of do it, blow it up. We see so many teams not even really trying to win right now. Could you ever see the Giants doing that, or is it just not in their DNA to say, you know what, let's just lay out for a couple of years? We certainly didn't do it this year. We saw that.
Well, I don't think they're going to do it with this group. I mean, the group that brought them 3 championships with Bumgarner, Crawford, Posey, that backbone there, I think that they respect the accomplishment, and I think that they're going to give them every opportunity to have another one, which is what we saw happen this offseason. Quite honestly, I was thrilled with what the Giants front office did. I think they did a masterful job of bringing in credibility that made everybody in that clubhouse believe that they had a chance. That's the most important thing. They didn't give up their top-of-the-line prospects, although they did give up good players. But and then they didn't kill themselves financially. I mean, I really didn't know how they were going to do it, and they did it. So I don't know down the line. I mean, look, who knows? I just don't see them going through a long-term 4 or 5 year deal. I don't think that's in their DNA, and I think they'll always try to be competitive. And I think they owe the fan base that. The support that they get in that stadium, I just think the Giants feel that they need to justify that.
Mike, I don't want to dwell on this, but everyone asks and they wonder because they care so much. How are you feeling? I know your schedule's 120 games like last year. Is everything going well? We want to know.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, I have to be smart about things. I have to take a little more time to get ready and a little more time to get there. But no, I'm ready to go. It's a funny thing. I talk to coaches and broadcasters, guys who I've known for years. And we all kind of feel the same way. The older we get, the more we need this game. And I'm certainly one of those guys. And I can't tell you how alive I feel walking into a major league ballpark and walking into a clubhouse or getting on the field or coming up in the booth. I'm pretty blessed in the people that I get to work with every day, the professionals that I get to be around, the people that want to put out the best product, whether it be on the field or by way of a broadcast, television or radio. So I just feel very, very blessed to be part of all that. So I'm doing fine, and I plan on doing this a long time.
That's tremendous. That is tremendous, and it communicates on the air. And I'll just generally say, I know, like Steve Kerr, when he couldn't coach the Warriors, that just made him want to return more and made him love his job more. And I sense that with you, if you can't do a game, you want to come back even more. You love this job even more because sometimes you're not doing. That's what I sense. I might be wrong.
No, you're absolutely right on. I mean, it's such a beautiful game, and the older you get, the more you rely on the history that you've seen. The more that history becomes relevant to the game that you're doing. And I think baseball is a game of stories. It's a game of anticipation. It's a game of making a point by bringing up an old player or an old situation, and people love it. And that's what we love about the game. It's a day-to-day thing, and it's just it's such a great world. And it was funny being down in spring training this year. You see everybody, and you kind of look to see who made it through the winter, right? You're kind of at the best of the pack at the end of the year. Hey, you made it. You look good. And it's just such a great tradition. So, and that's it. This is the 136th year upcoming of Giants history, and it's just such a great privilege to be part of it.
There's a player that I wasn't sure always loved baseball every second of it. I like playing it, but maybe not everything. But I think now is showing us how much he loves it. It's Tim Lincecum. Coming back again, just doing his best to be back in the major leagues again. What's been your reaction to just him back, and what do you think is in this short-term future here?
I think he's a guy who's just enjoying it day to day right now. I mean, he got away from this game, and when you leave this game, it becomes amazingly clear that what you are as a ball player, that's what you are. That's your whole makeup. You go back and take a look at what he was like in the Giants clubhouse. He was always a great teammate. He didn't like a lot of the bright light of fame, the recognition, the notoriety. It made him uncomfortable. But for the most part, when he walked in that clubhouse, he was completely at ease, and he was in his element, his world. And he was never a pretentious player. He was just a great teammate. And so he sat away from the game. He worked his tail off to get back. And he said, you know, it's not about the money. And with him, he's 100% sincere. You know, he's a guy that isn't a guy that spends a lot of money or, you know, showboats a lot of money, drives big cars, has big houses. You know, he's pretty simple as to how he lives his life. All he wants to do is put that uniform on and be part of a team and make a contribution. And that is not an exaggeration. That's the type of guy he is. He is so at peace with where he's at right now, and I'm rooting for him. We all are.
That's tremendous. Good to have him back in there. There's no question about that. Mike, I'll ask you a question a little different than I ask all my guests. I'll ask you, you're such a musician. I know you play the guitar. You play all these versions. What's your favorite song to play, and with what instrument?
You know, right now I've been playing a lot of mandolin, and ever since Tom Petty died, I've been doing a lot of Tom Petty songs, and I've never really done them on the mandolin, and it's just so soulful, and I mean, I'm kind of into that right now. I've been playing a lot of electric. I got a new hollow body Gretsch. I had one when I was a kid. Got rid of it, you know, 30 years ago, but I got another one. I've been playing that a lot, and it's just playing rock and roll. I mean, everything from the Stones to the Drifters to J.D. McPherson, just, you know, getting just whatever is the mood. And, you know, there's a lot of music goes on here, right? Yeah. And it's either a banjo or, you know, some kind of a guitar, whether it be a tenor guitar or a 6-string or a 12-string. We just, we get after it. And it's pretty much nightly. You know, another thing we do, with the Bluetooth that we have, you know, you can pretty much get whatever song you want. And we collect drums, world drums. And we've got a lot of conga drums and bongos and djembe drums, and so we'll put on like Latin reggae, and we'll just get and crank it up. We'll just start playing drums to it. So, you know, music is such a big part of our lives, and that'll never stop. So, right now, to answer your question, I'm killing you with these long answers.
That's all right.
Right now, it's really Tom Petty.
Wildflowers, give me a song that you're playing with mandolin.
I'm playing, what's the name of it? Oh, gosh.
Stumped you.
God, what's the one? Even John Mayer did a version of it. It's a really good one. He's a good girl.
Oh, yeah. Free Fallin'.
Yep.
Free Fallin'
on the mandolin right now is stupid good.
That sounds beautiful to me, just picturing it right now. Hey, listen, Mike, take enough of your time, but I really appreciate you coming on. Great talking to you, and baseball season is basically here. Love it. Can't wait.
It is, TK, and hey, the Athletic is fantastic. We're on it every day, and thanks for having me on the show.
Appreciate that, and Mike, thank you very much. That's the TK show for today. Thanks.